Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
So the other thing that really had us confused was we are a private studio by appointment only. Now, for the public, that means our door is never open like this. It is locked. You have to call us. You have to book an appointment. Then when you get here, you call us, we let you in. We've been like that for a long time. So when they say you can't be open to the public, well, with this door locked and by appointment only, we're technically not open to the public. It's by appointment only.
And while we're not in a position, because of the impending trial, to go into any factual details, as they may affect the reporting of these details may affect the outcome, suffice to say that the circumstances are extremely peculiar, and we disagree fundamentally with the nature upon which these charges were laid against our client.
Adam Sos here with Rebel News, and I am in Lethbridge, Alberta, at the Peppermint Hippo. This is a tattoo shop owned by Will Woods, and Will Woods has been targeted by Alberta Health Services and authorities in this city since these restrictions began. We're going to pop inside, have a word with Will, take a look around his shop, and then we're going to hop over to Chad Williamson of Williamson Law to give us an update on how this Fight the Fines battle is going. So I'm here with Will Woods of Peppermint Hippo Tattoo here in the Lethbridge, and you've been maybe the focus of some attention from the authorities. If you could maybe tell us a little bit, first of all, so people know a little bit about who you are, about your shop, how long you've been here, some of the clientele you serve, some of that good stuff.
We've been here for going on in 12 years, so been around Lethbridge for a little while, making a lot of friends. We cater to everyone. Anyone from your blue collar worker to dentists, doctors, lawyers, and the police. So
And have they been back since that? Maybe for reasons other than tattoos?
More recently, yes, yeah. We did have a visit from some of them in the local AHS. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's relating to the restrictions. Maybe before we get into the specific story, you could just touch base on how maybe this has affected business or other businesses in the area, how they've been affected by these restrictions.
I think everyone knows. I mean, I think the people that don't realize it are, how would you put this? Anyone who runs a small business, I think, is deeply affected by any of this. I mean, I've had friends, many friends, we all know somebody whose business has gone under because of this, and it's because we aren't getting the help that we need to stay afloat. It's become quite aware that we're just not important, I guess. Like the money's not there. There's no real reason for us to be shut down. None of the numbers make sense. I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat.
And on that note, I think you mentioned, or at least I'd read, that there are 0 cases of COVID spread relating to tattoo shops in Alberta. Is that true?
Directly from tattoo shops, there has been 0. I mean, I know some people can say, oh, this case here and this case here. To actually pinpoint where a direct case comes from is near impossible, if you ask me. But as it sits, AHS has firmly told us there has not been 1 direct case from tattoo shops in all of Canada.
So I'm here with Chris, another artist here at the shop, and you've been at the center of some focus and maybe some negative attention surrounding these restrictions as well. If you could maybe just share a little bit of insight about your experience, what it's been like to be a tattoo artist in these times.
It's been very hard, very interesting. It's difficult when the public is told that it's dangerous what we're doing, and us being together in close quarters and providing service is dangerous. When the public believes that destroys all of what we've built up in our career. 16 years as a tattoo artist, professionally trained, 25 years with the owner, professionally trained. I have 3 years as a primary care paramedic in Saskatchewan. So all of that training is now washed away because Walmart can teach you how to clean in a 20-minute huddle. Okay.
And then what about the sort of double standards in place here? You're working in a very sterile environment. This shop has no violations in its history. Meanwhile, you mentioned like airplanes can fly, big box stores are open. Maybe if you could just touch on that sort of double standard a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, back in January when we initially kind of challenged the order of it, the logic of it, StatsCan said at the time they had an average of 40 people per flight, and Calgary's airport alone had 80 flights landing that day. Now, they told us it was unsafe for us to be working. When I book myself 1 client a day, I see less people in a month than 1 flight attendant sees in 1 flight. But that's not safe. including all of the training, all of the reasonable measures that we take, the training that we have in infection control, mitigation. It's absurd.
Do you feel like they're maybe trying to make an example? We've seen lots of people where examples are being made of them.
That's the number one thing we're being told, is they're trying to make an example of us, whether they want to use a large fine, or we've been threatened with shutting down our business indefinitely. So, I mean, if that's the route they want to take, I will stand against it. I'm going to fight.
And so as a member of the community, you've had a business here, you've been tattooing people, you're pretty integrated for 12 years. They're threatening to shut you down permanently.
This isn't my, I'm not trying to shine moment, but we do the math every year. In the 11 years we've been open, we have put over $150,000 back into this community, whether it's charities, sponsorships, donations. That doesn't seem like a lot of money, but for a small business, that's one business out of the city that's put $150,000 back into the city. So we've done quite a bit for the city just to turn around and say, yeah, we'll shut you down. Well, you know what? Thank you very much. That shows a lot.
So Will is one of our Fight the Fines clients, and Chad Williamson of Williamson Law, one of the top litigators in the country, is going to bat for him, fighting for his fundamental freedoms. We're going to jump now to Chad for a quick update.
We take all of our Fight the Fines files extremely seriously, and Will's case is no exception to our policy. Now, we're fortunate to be working with co-counsel on many of these files, my good friend and learned colleague, Yoav Niv, who's going to be running point on William's file during the trial, which is now scheduled to be set down for June 22nd. This is quickly approaching, and while we're not in a position, because of the impending trial, to go into any factual details, as they may affect the reporting of these details may affect the outcome, suffice to say that the circumstances are extremely peculiar, and we disagree fundamentally with the nature upon which these charges were laid against our client. Now, we'll be fighting, obviously, aggressively at this trial, and we have many more scheduled. So we're starting to get into the thick of it on these Fight the Fines files. And one thing that's, again, so important to stress is, without the generous contributions from Albertans and from people all over the world to this Civil Liberties Project, folks like Will, small businesses, regular people trying to go about their daily lives, they would simply not have the capacity to take the government to task on some of these files. We should have updates for you after the trial, and we just ask everybody out there to wish us the best of luck. We have many of these trials coming up, and this is going to be a very interesting summer for Rebel News, for our clients, and for our firm.
And it begs a question, as you mentioned, there's a bunch of places, big businesses that seem to be getting these exemptions, and then it's small businesses, tattoo shops, family restaurants that are really suffering. How did the restrictions and the lockdowns and all that stuff affect your business personally?
You know, in the beginning, I think we were all kind of nervous, scared. I don't think anyone really knew what was going on, and I think as time came out and the information came out more and more, it turned from scared for me to more like it was slowly destroying us. I mean, we've had to pay roughly, which doesn't sound like much to many people, but we're about $20,000 out of our actual savings. This is for me when I get older. This is our savings that has been disappearing, about $20,000 to date that we've had to just keep this business open. Did we get that back? No. I mean, it's been hard, you know. Mentally, I think it's been even harder on a lot of people, you know, not being allowed to see your family, allowed to go out for dinner, allowed to go to the damn park. Like, this is getting a little bit.
It's unreal. And you're not alone, certainly. I know a lot of businesses through our Fight the Fines programs. We're talking to countless businesses who owners are paying $80,000 a year just to be able to go to work. It's unbelievable. And I think for people maybe sitting in cushy government jobs, they don't understand the realities.
Well, if I'm wrong, didn't the government give themselves raises last year and this year? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that happened.
Yeah, it seems to be a pattern with them. I don't know why they do that. I can't imagine why you'd vote yourself to get a raise.
So the other thing that really had us confused was we are a private studio by appointment only. Now, for the public, that means our door is never open like this. It is locked. You have to call us. You have to book an appointment. Then when you get here, you call us, we let you in. We've been like that for a long time. So when they say you can't be open to the public, well, with this door locked and by appointment only, we're technically not open to the public. It's by appointment only.
Well, there you have it. Peppermint Hippo, no health board violations. They have a trained paramedic on staff. They're checking all the boxes. In fact, they're a private tattoo studio. No one should be inside unless they have a booked appointment. So they have all these restrictions and measures in place. And yet they continue to be targeted by authorities. We wonder why they've been so targeted. Perhaps it's because Will and his colleague are outspoken. Perhaps, like so many Albertans, it's because they've been asking questions that the authorities don't like. We're going to continue to follow this story as it develops and bring you updates as the courts rule on the case of Will Woods. I want to thank you for tuning in. For Rebel News, I'm Adam Sos.
If you or anyone you know would like to help me with my legal battles or somebody else's, please go to fightthefines.com.